make sure every dollar has an assignment and you're not just looking at, dang, okay, I got $462 left in my bank account. What's the move for tonight? You don't want to do that. Make sure you have a plan. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Ryan with Mama's Got a Budget, and thank you so much for joining me. So in today's video, I feel like I haven't filmed for so long. I say that in every video because really honestly, I can only film on the weekends, so it gets a little, it feels like a long time since I actually do a sit down video. So if you notice, we don't have, well, maybe you don't notice yet because I usually cut to it, but we don't have the picture-in-picture feature going on here today. It's going to be my first full, well, besides the vlog, it's going to be my first full sit down video face-to-face with you guys, talking about what you guys voted for on my YouTube poll, and that is ways to jumpstart your budget for 2019, or whatever year you're watching this. If you're from the future, hello. Today is December 29th, 2018, but these tips are honestly timeless. So I did the poll, and originally the categories were beauty on a budget, and that's why I feel like I got glammed up today, because I was expecting you girls to choose beauty on a budget, but no. Then the second option was credit 101. That was in second place. And then the third one in first place was categories to jumpstart your budget. So that's what I'm here to do today. So I kind of turned it into, I didn't just want to list out categories for you guys, right? This is not like story time, readathon type thing. No, I wanted to give you guys the categories in a way and also share some tips. So I have included a free printable for the first time in this video. So in order to aid this video and not feel like I'm like reading to you guys, I have created a free printable to go along with this video and for you to use forever. I just ask that you use it for personal use only. If you check down in the description box, there's going to be a link to Dropbox where you can download my monthly budget printable guide. It's just like front and back, just things to help you jumpstart, like get to thinking about your budget. If you click the link down below, it'll take you directly there. Leave me a comment. You can leave comments on Dropbox. That's funny. Leave me a comment once you download so I know how many people are actually checking it out. But if you want to grab that, print it out. I included cut lines and room to hole punch. On the left-hand side, it's just US letter size. If you guys want more sizes in this, if you want me to add it to my shop in the future, just let me know. But I have included this free printable on US letter size paper. So go ahead, print that out, have a look over, use it to aid you in your monthly budget. But in today's video, to go along with that, I'm also going to share my 5 budgeting tips that I have learned since I started my budget and that I can relate to going back into my job. So if you didn't know, I'm Ryan. I'm 31. I'm a single mom. I just started my cash-based budget journey this year, but I did go to school for finance and accounting at SIU Carbondale. Go Salukis, what? And when I graduated, I got into the financial field. Like, I'm a financial manager now. I work with doctors, pathologists, ER physicians, people like that, and I help them with their budget, their projections, their investments, their spending, their payroll, everything like that. I balance their books. So I went to school for it. I work in it every day, but I wasn't applying it to my everyday life. So that's where Mama's Got a Budget was born, and so I'm here to help you with everything that I know. Excuse me if I'm a little like flustered or out of breath. I feel like I'm talking a mile a minute. I just need to slow down. Number 5. Let's get right into it. We're going to go from 5 to 1. Tip number 5 is make your budget work for you. There are a million ways to budget, right? There are a million people who budget, but you have to make it work for you. The first step in making your budget work for you that I can give is just to brain dump everything. And that's what the purpose of the free printable that's linked down below is. It's to get your wheels turning, to get you thinking about things that will affect your budgeting. So just brain dump everything that applies to your life. It can be car insurance. Some people don't have a car. It could be childcare. Some people don't have kids. It could be tithing. Maybe some people don't go to church. So it could be all these different things for all these different people. So brain dump what works for you. Get it all out on paper. Then I recommend for you to organize from the most important to the least important. It's going to be kind of hard, but I found the way that I do mine, for example, is I have rent, childcare, car notes, car insurance, credit cards, and then it kind of dwindles down from there, with the bottom being like an app that I pay for. So the most important thing is to have somewhere to live. For me, is to have somewhere to live. Have some way to get around so that it won't lapse in case anything happens. Have insurance, and then I just work down from there. Have somewhere to take my child when I go to work. Have somewhere to if I have debt to pay off, and then the student loans, and then the credit cards, and things like that. So it can be a little overwhelming once you look at it, but having it down on paper really, really helps. Organizing it from most to least important will kind of ease that overwhelming feeling, because you may have 22 bills, but really, 15 of those you wouldn't die without. You know what I mean? So after you do all of that, and this is still within the realm of making your budget work for you, make sure you consult any and everyone else, like your spouse or a roommate if you're in college, or if you have a roommate, anyone that will affect your bottom line. Nothing is more frustrating to me than the unknown, or people dipping in and out of my life affecting my budget. So make sure, if you decide to have a budget and you do have a spouse or significant other or a close friend or relative that you share these bills with that are going to affect it, make sure you consult them. Let them know, hey, I'm doing this budget. I'm on this journey. I need to know when you're going to contribute, how much you're going to contribute, how often you're going to contribute, and how much can I rely on you because I really need this. If you're counting, let's say, you and your spouse's income in your budget, make sure he or she knows that. Make sure that he or she is not just, taking their paycheck and piecing out and leaving you to fumble all the bills, and make sure that he or she is just not going to jump in and give you $700 one month and then $150 the next month. Staying consistent with people who affect your bottom line is really going to help cut out a lot of frustration. And having the conversation is where it all starts. So, number 4. I have my notes down here, that's why I'm looking. I feel all professional, like I actually got ready for this video. I turned on my lights. I did a free printable. I got my notes right here, looking all real sophisticated on my stand, on my phone. Like, I'm doing it. Not really. So, number 4, do not compare or try to mirror your budget with anyone else's you see. Not even me. Like, you guys, I say this every video, you guys are the sweetest and most motivating and most relatable people ever. And I'm glad that I can be that for you as well. But no matter how relatable someone is, everything's not going to be the exact same. Budgeting is not a one-size-fits-all concept, so don't try to force, a circle in a square peg. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You are brain dumping everything out that fits for your life, right? If you try to mirror everything, like for me, for example, let me see. I don't have a spouse. I can't count his income because I don't have his. So if you're trying to mirror my budget, it's not going to work for you because I don't have a spouse. You probably have double my income. You may live on your own. I still live with my mom. You may have mortgage, electricity, lights, gas, cable, internet. you name it. Like, I feel like I'm like greens, potatoes, tomato, like you name it. You may have all that I don't have right now. So don't try to mirror my budget or anyone else's that you may see. Use it for reference. That's one way. That's another way, I should say, that you can get really frustrated is by trying to mirror someone's exact method, someone's exact process. Take it and tweak it for you. Number 3, you want to identify what may knock you off track in the future or what has knocked you off in the past. The greatest indicator of the future is the past. So if you know that you can't just run into Target and pick up some milk and that's all that you walk out with, don't go onto Target. Well, I shouldn't say don't go to Target ever because it feels really restrictive, but don't put yourself in situations where you know that your budget could fail. Be honest with yourself. Like for me, okay, I'm going to use myself as an example. I have a planner Instagram. So when I go on there and I see all these sticker kits and Erin Condrens and TNs and new Kiki Ks and all that stuff, I'm going to show you. These, I just went ahead and grabbed a handful and a half. These are all the planners that I could grab, on short notice behind me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And these are the ones that I don't use as often. I have 9 over there. I have 1 in my purse. I have 2 at work. I got my budget planner. I got 3 coiled planners down here. So do you see what I'm getting at? I would go on to my planner Instagram and see all this stuff and be like, oh my gosh, I gotta have it. I gotta have it. Oh my God, my setup can be just like that. I could be living this life. That's my weakness. So I have not been logging on to that planner Instagram because I know my weakness. I know I'm going to see a new TN or a new add-on to something or a new kit that's coming out and I'm going to want to have it. Oh, it's on sale for this weekend only. I better go pick it up. Or I have, how in Gmail they have those tabs where they separate your emails. The promotions tab is the devil for me because I'll click through it. Oh, Fashion Nova, 60% off. Biggest sale of the season. Old Navy, all kids, like all this stuff. I don't look at that anymore. Like I try my hardest, even when I'm bored. If I'm bored, I try to brainstorm things for YouTube, for budgeting, or look at my own budget, things like that. So if I'm identifying my weaknesses, which is logging on to Instagram and seeing all these promotions, like I'm not gonna log on to Instagram. I'm just not, because it's not going to help my bottom line. If you can reel it in the beginning, it's going to be much easier to taper off as it goes on. Don't try to cut yourself off cold turkey, but get a handle on it, identify those weaknesses, and it'll be much easier to trail off. I haven't logged on to that Instagram in, I want to say about 3 or 4 weeks, because I would notice that I would click out of Instagram and then go put something in my cart and then go back to Instagram and then keep scrolling. So I don't want to do that. So identify your weaknesses, and it could be any and everything for you, but being honest with yourself in that area, in that arena, will definitely help you save a lot of stress in the long run. I can't believe we only had 2 more. It seems like it took me a while to come up with these, but they're going by pretty fast. So number 2, the second thing that I've learned is to plan. Nothing is worse than when you say that you're going to do something and the time comes to do it, but you haven't planned for it, and you get frustrated or overwhelmed, and then you end up not doing anything. That's my personal problems coming out, because that's exactly what happens to me if I don't plan. If you know what is happening, it's much easier for a surprise to catch you off guard and knock you completely off track, right? So you don't have to plan too involved. It doesn't have to be like a whole weekly kit and stickers and all this foil and glitter and jingle bells dangling from the thing. It doesn't have to be all that. It can be a simple pen and paper. It can even be on your phone. It can be with highlighters, or it can be stickers if that's what you're into. It doesn't have to be too involved, but whatever you choose, digitally or manually, just choose it and stick with it. Not saying that it can't ever change, but the more you change something, the harder it is for it to become an actual process. It'll seem more like a project. We don't want the project, we want the process to work for us. Try to stick with what you know that you will. If you know that you constantly have your phone in your hands and that's the easiest way for you to do it, put it on your notes app. Do something like that. If you know that you're a pen to paper type of person and you need to write it down 2 or 3 times in 2 or 3 different places for it to stick, go ahead and do that. Just make sure that you plan things out. Another tip within this is to know what bills are due when. I feel like that's a given, but it goes into the planning aspect. You can even contact most lenders, most vendors will let you choose your due date. So, like, for example, you can call up Capital One right now, say, hey, my bill is due on the 13th. It's really not working out because I get paid on the 15th and the 30th, and, the 13th is not working out too well for me. Can we make it the 17th of the month? They are more likely than not, they're willing to work with you. That's something that, they don't go around advertising like, hey, choose your own due date type thing. But if you say like, this month is not really going to work for me on the 13th, can I make it the 17th and going forward making the 17th? Because that seems to be where my paychecks are going to fall. That's fine. You want to make the budget work with you, not against you, because then it's going to become more of a project. Once again, process, not project. And also, don't forget to budget for yourself and your safety net. I feel like a budget can feel so restrictive, and again, that's why it took me so long to actually start. It's because I was like, but no, I'll start next month because I want this new pair of shoes, or no, I'll start next year, when Elijah's in first grade and it's not as bad because I still got to do this, and this. Like, I was constantly putting it off. So if you are budgeting for yourself while taking care of your other business, it makes it a lot easier and you're a lot less likely to fail if you put something in there for yourself. These, again, these are just things that I've learned. I've learned having a coffee fund separate from a spending fund lets me get more out of my budget rather than just restricting it to all bills. I really can't do that. So you want to, while you're planning everything out, you want to have an assignment for every dollar that comes in. That's where that whole every dollar budget comes from with Dave Ramsey. You want to have an assignment for every dollar that comes in, because more often than not, disposable income leads to overspending. You don't want just money just floating out there. You can have your savings, you can have your safety net, you can have your debt payments, and you can have your personal spending, but make sure every dollar has an assignment. At the very least, I would say shoot it over to debt if that's an important category for you, but also savings. That's just as important as having your debt payments sometimes. So flip-flop between, okay, this month I'm going to put this much toward debt. This is how much I have left over. I'm going to put this much toward debt. Next month I have this much left over. I put some extra to debt for that month. So this month I'm going to put it to savings. You can flip-flop it. That's fine. But make sure every dollar has an assignment and you're not just looking at, dang, okay, I got $462 left in my bank account. What's the move for tonight? You don't want to do that. Make sure you have a plan. And right now, my number one budget tip for you that I've learned is simply do not get discouraged. Do not. You can't possibly be 100% at everything. And hiccups are going to happen in your life because life is going to happen. And it's scientifically proven that it takes over 60 days to form a habit alone. So if you're constantly, like if you get paid, like me, using myself as an example again, if I get paid on the 15th and the last business day, if I get paid that first time, I'm repeating myself. If I get paid on the 15th and something doesn't work for me and it rolls around to the next pay period on the last business day and I just be like, well, it didn't work last time, so YOLO. And I just start, blowing money like I'm crazy. it's not going to stick. If you get discouraged, it's going to be even harder to start back up again. So just know that life is going to happen. Your numbers may not always be right. You may not always have the perfect amount of sinking funds or the perfect amount of cash envelopes. You may have some unexpected things that pop up, which is fine. Everything is fine. It's your budget, it's your life, it's what works for you. So if you find yourself getting discouraged, pull yourself back, right? Assess what you've done, maybe what you've done wrong, what you could have tweaked, what happened that was out of your control, because those things are going to happen. A tire might blow out. Your child might get sick. You know, your paycheck may be a little funky sometimes. Maybe this new person doing payroll didn't put your overtime on there like they were supposed to. You know, just don't get discouraged, because things are going to happen. Some that are out of your control, but just know that there's always the next pay period. You can always fix what you've done wrong. It's not life or death. You're not doing surgery up here. You're not, you know what I'm saying? It's just not going to be as bad as you make it seem. And that's me, like, speaking to myself, because I find myself with anything in life, like, getting so discouraged and just giving up, shutting down, putting up a wall and saying, well, I'm going to do what I want to do anyway, and I'll figure it out later. That's been like my motto up until probably like 3 months ago. So really, I'm trying to reel it back in, and this channel is really helping me do that a lot. So yeah, guys, those were my 5 budget tips that I've learned so far on this budget journey. Don't forget to click the link in the description box below to download your free printable. I put it together just for you guys, so you should feel so special. I did leave a blank space on, it is meant to be printed, yeah, like this, front to back. So I did leave a blank section for you to fill in any categories that you may have. So for example, I have an income category. I have personal expenses, insurance, transportation, giving, food, of course, can't forget my food, savings. I think those are all the categories, and then I have a blank section. So let me know if you guys like the printable. How well do you like it? If I can tweak anything going forward, let me know. If you have any other ideas for videos that should come with a free printable. If you guys, no, I'm not popping like that yet. I was gonna say if I do like a master class and then include a free printable, like an ebook or some shit, bitch. But no, I'm doing too much right now. I need to calm down. Yeah, that's it. Just let me know how you guys like it, and I hope you find it helpful. That's what I'm here for. As always, thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We are up to like how many? Like 1,368. Like, y'all are blowing my mind. Like, where do all these people come from? I don't even know 13 people that I'm cool with, let alone 1,368. Like, that's amazing. So thank you guys so much for sticking with me. Let me know if I can do anything to help. I'll be filming this weekend, so if you see this whole get up again, just ignore it. Just act like it's the first time you've seen it and be like, dang, I like that sweater. So if you see this, just ignore me. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!